a 95% chance I'm going to be right on this one. So it'll be funny. I think actually the analyst will end up agreeing with me in actuality. All right, we're going to get started here, ladies and gentlemen. That's awesome, Chad. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's my pleasure to serve you. Welcome to our family. Am I live? Am I live? Am I good? Check. 1, 2. I'm good. I'm live. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Cook is a genius. Apple is down massively after hours, but I'm going to show you why it is a buying opportunity. We're going to go through all that and more, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. We have so many great things to talk about today. You know what? The analysts are going to follow Mark Melnick tomorrow, and I'm going to share with you exactly what they're going to say. And they're going to be actually right for the first time in a long time when it comes to coverage of this stock. And Apple, if you haven't seen, has been plummeting after hours. And we're going to go over why it's a buying opportunity, the levels you need to follow, as well as so much more. But first, I would like to say thank you to Mark Melnick and the T3 Live Compliance team. By watching this video, you agree that you will hold Mark Melnick harmless and not responsible for anything that may or may not happen to you or anyone you know based on this video. You agree the same for T3 Live to hold them harmless and not responsible for anything that you read, hear, think about, dream about, do as a result of watching this video. If you are not 100% sure and agree to what I just said, kindly exit this video immediately. Hey, I really appreciate you agreeing to that. So as a result, I'm going to reward you. And you might be looking at my hoodie. I've been a little bit under the weather. I even have my little box of tissues and natural remedies to make myself feel better. And we're going to talk about, of course, Apple. And before even I go into Apple, and you could see Apple down massively. I mean, Apple's down over 11 and a half points after hours. We're going to talk about that. I just want to just quickly tell you why you really need to be part of this room. What I'm not going to do is I don't make 80, 90% of my money. I don't make 95% of my money shorting $3 names, pumping it into a room, and having the room make money for me. There are traders and broadcasters who I know of who are doing that today. They do it today. And they will take a name and they don't care and they'll load in the position, they'll pump it to a room and they'll get you involved and they will make money off you joining in. And that is evil, despicable, and disgusting. So what we do here is we try to give you levels the day before. We don't really try so much as we succeed in doing it consistently. So if you were watching last night's show, we gave you a resistance level, the top of the Qs at 155.73. Yesterday's Newsbeat show, go watch Newsbeat show 246, the day high of the Qs, 155.75. That's 2 cents off. That is 2 cents off the top of the entire NASDAQ 100. Like, come on here. Maybe that wasn't good enough for you. All right, Mark, that's one. You got lucky, Mark. All right, maybe you're right. We gave you the low on Facebook yesterday at 128.51. The low on Facebook today is 128.56. What a coincidence. That's 5 cents off the day low. You want to know true analysis of charts? You want to know why these stocks, the biggest stocks in the entire market, are topping and bottoming out to the Newsbeat Live Room's whim and will? Do you want to know why? All right. Maybe I got lucky on the cute guys. I called the top of the NASDAQ 100 yesterday. I called the bottom of Facebook. I promise you it was just luck. Okay. But let's look at Amazon since we're here anyway. Yesterday we gave you a level on Amazon, the largest of the FANG names in terms of price, and we gave you a level of what is that? $1,553.49. $1,553.49. The day high of Amazon, $1,553.36. I was 13 cents off Amazon, 5 cents off Facebook, and 2 cents off the Qs. That is a total of 20 cents between calling the top and bottom of the triple Qs, Facebook, and Amazon, not shorting a $2, 50 cents, $5, $10 name, pumping it to a room, and taking advantage of the fact that I have listeners. You see the difference between a trader who will take you to the next level and a trader who will suck you dry and then act like they know what they're talking about when they show you a P&L from shorting this $1 name. You see the difference? But Mark Melnick, again, you are just lucky. There's no way you could have done that again. So we'll have to go to Google. You know, Google is a very small cap name. Not many people have heard of this company. I think it has like a $20 million market cap, maybe 10 million. I think it's a big up and comer though. You know, not many people know of this company, but we did give you the level anyway because we said why not. We gave you the level of $1,023.50 yesterday on last night's Newsbeat show, and the day low is $1,025.28. So we were $1.78 off of Google, $1,000 name. That's how close we were to giving you the bottom. Now, we're going to give you tomorrow's levels today too, because, you know, I know a lot of traders say you're only as good as your next trade. That's such a lie. Again, I am not as good as my last trade. You know what I am as good as? I'm as good as my next 100 trades. I'm as good as my next 500 trades. And you know what? That's how you remain good. So, by giving you the most laser accurate levels, nowhere else on Wall Street will give you these levels. That is why the Newsbeat Live Room is coming into being a phenomena. And just to show you, and I'm going to talk about Apple, why it's a buying opportunity, I did not forget about you. I have to show you one more thing. Then I promise you I will get right to it. How valuable would it be for you? Before we called Amazon here, we said Amazon near my resistance level. Let's see if it could pop above 1552 first. Imagine getting that tweet. Imagine you're working a full-time job. You don't have time to spend all day in the Newsbeat live room. You're not a full-time trader. You're maybe part-time trying to get to full-time, but you have bills to pay. You have a family to support. I got you. I just had my second kid, which is probably why I'm sick all the time on a side note. But I just had my second kid. I respect where you're going through. So we're trying to, because Mark Melnick understands what you're going through working a full-time job while trying to remain somewhat involved in the market. What if you got a tweet like this saying Amazon near my resistance level? Let's see if it could pop above 1552. I want to start bringing you more of this. Again, I never promised it to you, but I promise you I'm going to try to bring you more and more and more. Now imagine getting that tweet when Amazon is in the mid 1440s. You get that tweet, Amazon breaks through 1552, hits 1553.36. You buy puts and you look at Amazon and it's trading right now over $53 lower than where you shorted it or bought puts. Hopefully bought puts, but you get the picture. How much value is that to you? Do you know how many people reached out to me and said, Mark, you made my month? Mark, you made my day. Mark, I just bought a few puts. One dude bought 3 puts. 3 puts. He says he bought 1525 puts, 3 of them on Amazon. That dude's going to be up probably over $10,000 tomorrow. Three of them. Why? He said, I love your algo levels. It's hard for me to follow. I can't set alerts while I'm at work, so I just take your overnight trades. Thank you for that tweet. Do you realize how much wealth we created today with this one tweet? Calling the top of, a small company like Amazon. Those little minor companies. I think I might have heard of them before. I think they're up and coming. That is value, ladies and gentlemen. It's not shorting a stock that's at $1 or two or five or 10, or shorting this little crap stock name and then pretending like I know what I'm talking about while pitching you for a bunch of other things. I am not pitching you. I am showing you truth. I am showing you honesty. I will show you where I did wrong. I made money on every single one of my trades today. Every single trade I made money. I called some great trades. I don't even want to go through them. The room knows I'm doing it in front of a lot of people. Amazon is not a penny stock, Pooty? Not yet? Oh, yeah. That's strange. It's a small company. Okay. Now, as promised, I'm going to get into Apple. I just thought I'd share that with you because there's a reason why Newsbeat Live Room is will, at this rate, by far the largest trading community on the planet. There's a reason why that is happening. There's a reason why that is happening. I think there's some Chinese chat rooms that have like 6,000 members. We're not there yet, but give it 2 years. Give it 2 years. We'll be there. With that being said, let's talk about why the market is going to plummet tomorrow, why the market is down massively, and I'm going to take you over, of course, to Apple. And again, if you don't know what's happening after hours, everything is gapping down tomorrow. Apple is gapped down to 145.95. It's down $12 after hours at the moment, and I'm going to show you why that happened. So, Tim Cook comes out, CEO of Apple, and I'm just going to highlight, and he releases this letter. This is right off Apple's website, the newsroom, letter from Tim Cook to Apple investors. And he says, they're talking about challenges in key emerging markets. And again, Newsbeat Live Room was on top of this when Apple was over $200. We talked about that's it. It's not going up anymore. Lower than anticipated iPhone revenue, primarily in Greater China. This might be China's attack on the US and for the trade war stuff. But I need to highlight something for you. And for all you that have actually read my 2019 game plan, it's available for Newsbeat Live members. But I'll highlight some things in case you're not a member yet. I mean, everybody always comes a member. It's just a matter of when, not if. So I will continue to try to bring you the best content every day until that happens, and then I'll continue to do it, but it'll actually be more content than you're receiving now. So this is the key line right over here. This is the key line which everybody is underestimating. Expectations, I'll read it for you in case you can't see it. Expectations are high for Apple because they should be. We are committed to exceeding those expectations every day. Notice that was like right by the end of Tim Cook's message. He says that has always been the Apple way and it'll always be. That was his final real statement. I'll repeat it again because I'm going to tell you why Apple's going to be a buying opportunity when you might have thought that Mark is like, oh God, he's been bearish on Apple for so long. And now after this comes out, I'm actually turning bullish, which is ironic, but I'll tell you why. Okay. I'll read it one more time, then I'll explain why. Expectations are high for Apple because they should be. We are committed to exceeding those expectations every day. Beautiful. Well played, Tim Cook. Now, if you read my 2019 report, if you are a Newsbeat Live member and you read it, one of the things I showed was analysts. The only way the market's going to go back up is if major FANG names, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, 5 of them, the major FANG names exceed expectations on their earnings. It doesn't even matter if they miss on earnings. I even said that is okay, as long as their projections from next quarter are higher than the analyst's expectation. The majority of my 2019 report highlighted that, and that was the main basis. So what Tim Cook did here by releasing this now was the smartest move that he has ever done as a CEO. And I know a lot of you guys want to rip him a new one and say, Tim Cook, you SOB, look what you did to my Apple. Oh, I'm a Apple shareholder. You're killing me. Tim Cook just hooked you up. You know why? Because he's coming out and saying, look, guys, let me explain it to you. He's coming out and saying, look, guys, we know earnings are going to suck. But what happens when you lower expectations? Anybody want to take a guess in the room before I give you the answer? What happens when you miss expectations? And you lower your expectations? Easy beats. Exactly, Rudy. Easy. Exactly. So what's going to happen when the analyst projections for Apple's earnings in the quarter? You know what's going to happen to them when Apple says we're going to miss iPhone sales? The sheep analysts are going to lower their expectations. And then, of course, you could play a little Caribbean dance music and we'll see how low I could go if I could go underneath the bar. They're going to lower their actual expectations, making it easier for Apple to beat. I'll put it in numbers terms so it's very simple to realize why Apple is a buying opportunity. So they do earnings per share and revenue. Those are the two big numbers. So let's say I'm looking for a dollar earnings per share and 2 billion in revenue. Let's say that's Apple. They're different numbers. I'm making it up for math's sake. Let's say my earnings per share, I'll draw it out on a chart, and you're going to realize that you heard it here first before any analyst on Wall Street, why Apple has been a buying opportunity for the first time that I'm calling it since it hit all-time highs over 230. So we're going to show you, let's just increase the font size so it's easy to read for everyone. So let's say Apple expectations, $1 earnings per share, 2. Okay? Let's say that was the number before. It isn't. I'm making it up for number's sake so you can understand. So Apple's expectations were $1 earnings per share. I'm going to move my mug to the top right. Apple's expectations were $1 earnings per share and $2 billion in revenue. Now, Apple, so this is step one. This is step one. And the next step is Apple's Tim Cook lowers expectations for Apple. So now let's say the analyst expectations go as followed. And I'm just going to pull this back to make it easy. Apple expectations. Now let's say it's, and again, I'm dramatically changing. I know it's not mathematically accurate, okay? 50 cents per share and 1 billion in revenue now. So these should be, I should label this analyst Apple expectations. And now, so step one, analyst Apple expectations were, in my random math example, dollar earnings per share, 2 billion in revenue. Apple lowers expectations for Apple. Apple's Tim Cook lowers the expectations. Now the analysts are at 50 cents earnings per share and a billion in revenue. Now when Apple reports, and I'm making this up, again, analogically, this is precisely what's going to happen in Apple's earnings report. It might be the most genius call of 2019 short of my stock of the year. So when Apple reports, let's say they announced 75 cents earnings per share and 1.5 billion in revenue. See the difference? Do you see the difference of what just happened here? By lowering the bar and then jumping over it, Apple exceeded expectations and they will exceed expectations and future projections. When Apple produces or projects future growth, they're going to crush it. You know what you need to do? I'm sorry, I can't legally tell you that. I would never tell you to buy or sell a security. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you because this is just too funny, this whole thing. This is how my brain interprets these things, and it's a little different than out there. All right. Apple is reporting January 29th. January 29th, ladies and gentlemen, after market close, Apple will be reporting, right? Apple is a buy right now. Not it might be a buy right now. It might not be a buy right now, but Apple is a buy to be long prior to earnings, in my humble opinion. I'll tell you that right now because analysts are going to drop their expectations. They haven't yet. The news just came out. They're going to do it tomorrow. They're going to reiterate. I mean, I could tell you what the analysts are going to do already. They're going to be like, we're lowering our price target on Apple to $175 from $180 because of these numbers, but we're playing both sides of the coins because we don't know what we're talking about. And what's going to happen is they're going to lower their expectations. And when they lower their expectations, Apple has a chance to beat. If you need some analogies, I'll share them. It's like me coming out saying I could beat LeBron James in basketball. And LeBron James, of course, dunks on my face so hard that for 4 generations of my kids, nobody knows how to shoot a basketball. That's how hard I got dunked on my face. But instead of letting LeBron James dunk on my face, and instead of Apple coming out and showing they're going to have crappy earnings, Apple's Tim Cook showed you his hand ahead of time like this, and this is why he is a genius. So, you know what, guys? I changed my mind. I can't beat LeBron James in one-on-one before we even play. Before we even play, you know what? I'm going to kick the crap out of that little 6-year-old on the basketball court. I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to lay it up on his face. I'm going to drain shots right over him. Now I'm saying that. And then it comes out that the game comes and I wipe the snot off his face so bad on the basketball court because I beat a 6-year-old. And now all of a sudden I say, "Look, guys, I'm looking pretty good now on the court." When I was playing LeBron James, I might have looked like the most garbage basketball player alive. When I'm on the court with a 6-year-old, all of a sudden, I might as well be the LeBron James on the court. You see the difference? Apple lowered the bar low enough where they know analysts will drop expectations so they could jump over it. What Tim Cook did is one of the most slick, genius moves that I have ever seen a CEO do to save his company. Tim Cook knew his earnings were going to suck. Would you rather have Apple climbing into earnings? They release this number, everybody panics like Apple is done, and the stock plummets. Or, here I'm going to give you two out. That's the first option. Or would you rather have Tim Cook write you a letter and write you this sweet little letter? Expectations are high for Apple because they should be when you are or were the most valuable company on the planet. We are committed to exceeding those expectations every day. Woohoo! That has always been the Apple way, and it always will be. We are not, look at these words. Apple innovates like no other company on earth. I agree. Right? They're one of the innovators of today's world. Like them or hate them. It's true. And we are not taking our foot off the gas. What he did, imagine this. Imagine this. You're a kid and you're throwing a party in your house because your parents are away. Mark Melnick never did that, drinking underage with alcohol in his life. It's a random example. My parents listening? No? Okay. Imagine that. Now, imagine after the party is done, everything is destroyed in your house, and your parents are on the way home. Now, when they come home, they might have a myocardial infarction or a heart attack, and they're going to look around, and they're going to look and say, and they're going to look at you, and they're going to have daggers in their eyes looking at you. But imagine before your parents came home to everything. Alcohol spilled over the television set and it shorted. Piss on the rug. Scratches on the table. Somebody graffitied your bathroom. You call up your parents. This is what Tim Cook did analogically, and you say, "Mom and Dad, I did something really stupid while you were out. I just wanted to have friends and socialize, and I invited some friends at my house, and, one of the kids I don't know brought over some liquor, and things got out of hand, and the house is a mess, and I'm so sorry, and I'm never going to do it again, and I just don't know what to do. What would you do, Mom and Dad? I'll do whatever you tell me. They destroyed a lot. Yeah, there's spray paint there. The TV had alcohol spilled over. Somebody peed on the rug. It smells like urine, and there are no pets in the house. I don't know what's going on. Then your parents are obviously mad, much like Apple investors are now, shorting the stock after hours down 12 points. But you know what they say? Hey, he feels really bad. He knew he screwed up. How do we make this right? As opposed to your parents coming home smiling, and then seeing what happened in their house. I cannot put it analogically any different. I cannot spell it out any different than the way I just did. What Tim Cook did was Tim Cook was the kid crying on the phone. Except Tim Cook says, I will never do this again. I promise I'll do better. I want to live up to your expectations, Mom and Dad. I screwed up this time, but I promise I'm going to do better because that's what you expect of me, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's what you should expect of me. And that's exactly what Tim Cook did. He was the kid who called his parents before they got home, and he softened the blow. So, with that being said, for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, I am saying that Apple is a buying opportunity. Remember, again, I don't need to relive the past. I was the first person who told you every analyst upgrading and defending Apple after earnings were full of shit. I told you that they were all wrong. I told you that they were all fabricating stuff when Apple was at 210 and 215 and 205 before, it dropped to 150. I was that person. I was the person telling you Netflix was a short, and we were shorting and making money off it. I was the person who said, get rid of your Amazon before Amazon reported. Short it. That was me. I was the person who was shorting Amazon, Netflix, Google, Facebook, Apple. I was that person. And that person is the same person telling you now that what Tim Cook did was the most genius move that I have ever seen a CEO do. It is genius. And if you read through the lines again, and you say expectations are high for Apple, what he's basically telling the analyst there subliminally, the expectations are already high. Where would you still consider the expectations high if you lowered it a little? You see what Tim Cook did there? Okay. So Apple's a buying opportunity, in my humble opinion. I think it'll be a buying opportunity prior to earnings. If you're part of the Newsbeat live room, you'll obviously know when and where I'm buying it. But I thought I would share that with you because this is going to be, and with everything going bad and Apple trading at $146, keep in mind Apple is 13 points away from being down 100 points off the all-time high. This is not Amazon off 100 points off the all-time high. This is Apple almost 100 points off the all-time high. And even though I was the person buying Apple call spreads over here, and making money on Apple when we called the bottom of the entire market. This is not the same type of buy that I'm calling in Apple. This is Apple is now finally a growth company again. You will never read this anywhere else. You're going to hear all the analysts come out tomorrow. Look, there's no analyst upgrades or downgrades right now. Look in tomorrow. I'll tell you what the analysts are going to do. They're all going to defend their buy rating on Apple, whether they lower the price target by $5 or $10 or they reiterate the buy rating on Apple. But one thing these insert your colorful word here, what these analysts are not going to do is actually say that Apple for the first time is a buying opportunity. Now, these analysts were saying it was a buying opportunity while it's falling from 230. There's not one person out there, I think, not a major research firm with a sell rating on Apple. I, Mark Melnick, am coming out officially for the first time after hours with Apple's down 11 points after hours, calling a buy on Apple for the first time. This is a long term buying opportunity for the first time. Now, again, don't be that don't be that ass who takes words out of context. I think if you bought Apple at the all-time highs, I think it will retest it years in the future and you'll make money eventually. No, timing is everything in the market. My timing says now is the time to own Apple after this came out because we're smart enough to read between the lines. We're smart enough to see the words of Tim Cook. We're smart enough to understand why Tim Cook did that. And it is exactly the way I explained it. Now, maybe calling the Qs within 2 cents yesterday, and Facebook within a nickel or whatever, and Amazon within, what was it, 12, 13 cents of the day high. Maybe, that's impressive. What if I give you tomorrow's levels tonight? What if you had tomorrow's levels in the Qs, Spiders, IWM, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google for tomorrow? What if you had the major FANG names and indices for tomorrow? These levels don't always hit, ladies and gentlemen, but when they do, they're pretty damn accurate. Okay? And soon we are going to be tweeting you when these levels are hitting in real time. So, for those people who are part of the Twitter and are happy with the service as it is, we're bringing you more, and we're going to try to bring you more. I don't have a date for when that will be happening consistently, but I do want to tell you that it will be happening soon. So again, don't tattoo this on your face, on your arm. Don't write it in permanent magic marker on your furniture. These levels change every day. These are your algorithmic levels for tomorrow, hence why it says levels for January 3rd, and today's obviously January 2nd. Game plan name? Yeah, we have a game plan name. It's this MYOK, and just want to show you it. It's just a name that got in Smash today. And I'm looking for a breakdown and follow through from through $41. It's not doing anything after hours. It's the same price, but I would look for a break of. It's funny. I said myocardial infarction to the scientific or medical term for a heart attack. Ironically, I just realized the name of this company is Myocardia, which obviously has to do with your heart. Um, Crazy coincidence. I didn't even think of that. Look for a short tomorrow through $41 of MYOK. We have no Forex names tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Forex market did go crazy, but no Forex trades tonight. I haven't done one in a couple weeks, but I haven't given up on it, honestly. I just haven't done any, and it's just simply that. I'll never force a trade. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we analyzed Apple. We told you why we think it is a beautiful buying opportunity. We told you why we think it's good to hold it prior to their earnings on January, it was 29th, right? On January 29th after hours. On Tuesday, January 29th, they're reporting after hours. We told you why they're going to come in ahead of consensus on their projections and why that's going to be a buying opportunity. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why hardcore money managers and hedge fund managers preach and swear that the Newsbeat live room is the largest, fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.